Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're taking a fascinating look under the hood at NVIDIA. We all know them for graphics, for AI, but some of their latest work is really pushing into new areas, beyond just text and images.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about AI in the real world.
Exactly. So if you want to get smart on this fast, well, you're definitely in the right place.
We've gone through, I think it was over 70 research papers from that big conference in Singapore, ICLR, end of April.
Right, the International Conference on Learning Representations, quite a load of material.
It is. So our goal is really to, pull out the key insights for you, what actually matters.
And the big theme seems to be what NVIDIA calls embodied intelligence, which sounds a bit academic, but...
It's basically AI that can perceive the world around it, think about it, and then actually do something, interact physically.
Right, less chatbot, more actual robot, or intelligent system acting in the environment.
Precisely. Like their VP, Brian Catanzaro, said, AI needs to engage meaningfully with real-world use cases to be truly useful.
That really nails it. So think like a warehouse robot that sees a box is in the way.
Yeah, and doesn't just stop, but figures out, okay, I need to move this, and then does it.
That's the embodied part. Perceive, reason, act.
And they're not doing this alone, are they? Lots of collaborations.
Oh yeah. Google, GE Healthcare, GM, big names are involved.
Yeah.
Shows this isn't just lab stuff.
Definitely seeing real-world pull for these technologies. Okay, so where should we start? Robotics.
Sounds good. Let's dive into robotics manufacturing first. They've got this SRSA system, skill reuse via skill adaptation.
Yeah, SRSA. The core idea is, well, pretty clever. It lets a robot learn one thing and then kind of adapt that skill for a new task without starting from scratch.
Okay, so like it learns to pick up a specific box.
Right, and then it encounters a different box, maybe a bit bigger or a different shape.
And it figures out how to grab that one too,
Oh.
without needing someone to reprogram every single step.
Exactly. It adapts the learned skill, and the numbers they're reporting are, well, quite interesting.
What do they say?
About a 19% jump in task success rates. 19%.
That's pretty significant.
And this is key. They needed less than half the training examples compared to, the older methods.
Wow. So faster learning, better results, less data. That sounds potentially huge for deployment.
It really could be. Think about logistics, warehouses, even smaller manufacturers.
Right.
Makes automation potentially more accessible, maybe cheaper to implement.
Reduces that barrier of complex, time-consuming programming for every little variation.
Precisely. Okay, so that's robotics. What about biotech? That was another big area.
Yeah, they introduced a model called Proteína. Sounds biological.
It is. It's all about proteins, specifically predicting and generating protein structures.
Okay.
And get this, it was trained on 21 million synthetic protein structures.
21 million. Synthetic ones, not real ones.
Oh, right, synthetic. The idea is that lets the model explore way more structural possibilities than maybe we've even seen in nature, pushing the boundaries.
Huh. And what can it do with that training?
It can generate these long protein backbones, up to 800 amino acids. That's quite complex. Think of it like designing tiny molecular machines.
And they're making some bold claims compared to rivals, right? Like Google's DeepMind.
Yeah, they're saying Proteína beats DeepMind's Gene 2, specifically on accuracy and the diversity of structures it generates.
Diversity meaning it can come up with more varied or novel protein shapes.
Exactly, which is really important for designing new drugs or enzymes. If you can explore more structural possibilities, you might find solutions that current methods miss.
So potential impact on vaccine development. Designing enzymes for industry.
Big time. Having accurate structure predictions, especially with labels showing how it's structured, could really speed things up in biotech R&D.
Okay, interesting. Let's shift gears again. Transportation and just understanding space.
Right, spatial awareness.
Yeah.
They unveiled STORM, Spatiotemporal Occupancy Reconstruction Machine. Bit of a mouthful.
Storm. Okay, what's the core function?
Speed. It builds 3D maps of its surroundings incredibly fast, like under 200 milliseconds.
200 milliseconds. That's almost instantaneous?
Pretty much, which is critical if you're moving fast or the environment is changing quickly.
So perfect for drones flying through complex areas.
Drones, yeah. Or augmented reality systems that need to know exactly where surfaces are in real time.
And autonomous vehicles, obviously. Needing that constant, updated 3D view of the road, obstacles.
Absolutely. That kind of rapid environmental mapping is fundamental for safe navigation in dynamic settings. STORM seems like a big step there.
Okay, so we have robots learning faster, AI designing proteins, systems mapping the world in real time. But what about the reasoning part of embodied intelligence?
Good point. That brings us to Nemotron Mind. This one's focused on large language models, but not for, writing poems.
Right. What's its job?
It's designed to teach LLMs how to solve math problems.
Math.
Using synthetic dialogue. It's like it trains the AI by having conversations about the math problem, explaining the steps, the logic.
Huh. So it learns the process, not just pattern matching to an answer.
That seems to be the goal. And again, they're reporting some pretty strong results.
What are they claiming here?
That models trained this way using Nemotron Mind actually do better on math benchmarks than much larger models.
Better performance than bigger models. How?
And crucially, using significantly fewer tokens. Tokens are like the basic units the AI processes.
Fewer tokens means
Yeah.
more efficient, less computationally expensive.
Exactly. More efficient learning, potentially cheaper to run. It suggests the synthetic dialogue approach is quite effective for teaching this kind of structured reasoning.
Okay, wait, going back to SRSA for a sec, that 19% improvement in robotics is great, but are there, situations where it doesn't work as well? Limitations?
Oh, sure. I mean, that's a fair question. While it's good for adapting similar skills, if a task is completely novel, really different, or needs super high precision, then maybe the adaptation is enough. You might still need that old school, very specific programming for reliability in some cases, at least for now.
Makes sense. It's not magic, it's adaptation.
Right. It's a step, a very useful one, but not the solution to everything yet.
Got it. Okay, so we have all these advanced AI models, SRSA, Proteína, Storm, Nemotron Mind. But how do companies actually use them? That seems like a hurdle.
It is, and that's where the last piece fits in. NM, or Inference Microservices.
NM? What's that?
It's basically NVIDIA's platform to help companies deploy these kinds of advanced AI models.
So it makes it easier to run them without needing, a giant data center yourself.
Pretty much. It packages up the models and the software needed to run them efficiently for inference. That's the stage where the AI makes predictions or decisions. It lowers the barrier to entry for using cutting-edge AI.
So it's the deployment infrastructure. Ties everything together. All these were announced at that ICLR conference, you said.
Yeah, all these pieces were highlighted there. It paints a pretty clear picture of their strategy around this embodied intelligence concept.
It really does. You see the threads connecting robots' learning skills with SRSA.
AI designing molecules with Proteína.
Systems perceiving the world instantly with Storm.
AI is learning to reason with Nemotron Mind.
And then NIM making it all deployable. It's quite comprehensive.
It shows how they're thinking about the whole pipeline, from fundamental research to real-world application.
You really get a feel for AI moving, beyond the screen and into the physical world. Manufacturing, biotech, transport, the impact could be huge.
Absolutely. It's changing how things are made, how we discover medicines, how things move around.
So it leaves you wondering, doesn't it, with AI getting better at this whole embodied thing, perceiving, acting in the real world, what other areas might it pop up in? Places we maybe aren't even thinking about yet. As AI gets, more physically capable, what new things become possible?
That's a great question to chew on. What unexpected corners of our lives might this kind of intelligence transform next? What happens when AI doesn't just process data, but actually interacts with our reality on a deeper level?
Something to think about.